The quantum arrays beneath the Atacama Desert hummed with their usual quiet intensity as Dr. Maya Chen adjusted the deep space monitoring parameters. The facility's massive subterranean chamber, filled with holographic displays and quantum processors, had been her second home for the past decade. Tonight, however, something felt different. The first anomaly appeared at 3:27 a.m. local time. Maya almost missed it. A slight perturbation in the quantum field, barely distinguishable from background noise. But after 15 years of studying deep space signals, she had developed an almost intuitive sense for patterns that didn't belong. RIA. Run a full spectrum analysis on grid section 47 alpha. She commanded the facility's AI system. The holographic displays shimmered and reformed, showing cascading waves of data. Anomaly confirmed, Dr. Chen. RIA responded, her voice carrying the slight musical lilt that had been programmed to make her seem more approachable. The signal appears to be propagating through multiple quantum dimensions simultaneously. This is unlike anything in our database. Maya's heart began to race. She'd dreamed of this moment since she was a child, staring up at the stars from her grandmother's rooftop in Singapore. Begin full containment protocols and notify Director Harrison. Within minutes, the facility transformed from its night shift quiet to a hub of frenetic activity. Director James Harrison arrived looking like he'd thrown his clothes on in the dark, which he probably had. "This better be good, Maya," he said, but the gleam in his eyes betrayed his excitement. James had been chasing evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence for longer than Maya had been alive. "Look at this," Maya said, expanding a particular section of the quantum readout. "The signal's using quantum entanglement in ways we thought were theoretically impossible. It's not just complex, it's elegant, and more importantly, it's deliberate." James leaned closer to the display, his expression growing more serious as he absorbed the implications. "You're certain this isn't some kind of natural phenomenon?" "The pattern repeats every 73 seconds with exact precision," Maya explained. "Nature doesn't work that way. This is a message, James, and whoever sent it has mastered quantum mechanics at a level we can barely comprehend." The next 12 hours passed in a blur of activity. The facility's quantum computers worked overtime, processing the signal's complex layers, while teams of scientists argued over its potential meaning. Maya stayed at her station, running analysis after analysis, looking for any detail they might have missed. It was RIA who made the breakthrough. "Dr. Chen, I've identified a mathematical sequence embedded within the quantum fluctuations," the AI announced. "It appears to be a primer for a more complex communication protocol." Maya's fingers flew over the holographic interface, following RIA's analysis. "It's like they're teaching us how to listen," she muttered. "James, I think we're about to get the real message." The primer sequence took another 4 hours to process, but when the actual message began streaming through, Maya felt the blood drain from her face. The quantum displays filled with information: star charts, gravitational maps, and energy signatures. But it wasn't a greeting or an invitation for cultural exchange. It was a warning. "The translation can't be right," James said, staring at the decoded text. "Run it again." Maya had already run it 3 times. The message remained the same. "To the emerging civilization in Sector 7291. Your quantum signature has been detected. A Level 5 consciousness extinction event approaches your galaxy. Standard protocols have failed. Conventional defenses are ineffective. You have 103 local solar rotations to prepare. We cannot help directly. The hidden ones are watching." "What are we supposed to do with this?" James asked, his voice barely a whisper. Maya stood up, her mind already racing with possibilities. "We do what humanity has always done when faced with impossible situations," she said. "We innovate, we adapt, and we prove them wrong about not being able to help." She turned to the quantum displays, where the alien warning continued to stream in. "RIA, begin cross-referencing all known quantum research with the patterns we're seeing in this signal. They may not be able to help us directly, but they've just given us the biggest clue vault in human history. What do you mean? James asked. Look at how they sent this message, the quantum mechanisms they used, the way they structured the data. Every aspect of this warning contains advanced scientific principles, if we know how to look for them. They're not just warning us. They're giving us the tools to fight back. They're just being subtle about it. As Maya spoke, more facilities around the world began reporting the same signal. Humanity's first confirmed contact with alien intelligence wasn't a celebration or a catastrophe. It was a challenge. And as Maya stared at the streams of data, feeling the weight of responsibility settling onto her shoulders, she couldn't help but smile. The human race had just been given a deadline for its own survival, but they'd also been given something else. Proof that the impossible was possible. Now they just had to figure out how to do it in 3 months. James, Maya said, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation, I need you to call an emergency meeting of the International Science Council. And then I need you to convince them to give me access to every quantum research facility on the planet. That's impossible, James protested. The political implications alone. 3 months ago, receiving a quantum message from an advanced alien civilization was impossible, Maya countered. We're going to have to start redefining that word. As Maya turned back to her work, ARIA's displays showed new patterns emerging from the signal, patterns that shouldn't have been possible according to current human understanding of quantum mechanics. But they were there, waiting to be deciphered, waiting to be understood. The race to save humanity had begun. And in the depths of the Atacama Desert, surrounded by humming quantum processors and cascading holographic displays, Dr. Maya Chen prepared to do the impossible. Commander Sarah Hassan stood at the viewport of the International Space Station's new quantum research module, watching the sunrise over Earth's curved horizon. 2 months had passed since the warning signal, and humanity had undergone a transformation unlike anything in its history. Commander, the test results from Project Echo are ready. Dr. Kai Patel's voice came through her neural link, a technology that had gone from experimental to standard issue in just 6 weeks. Show me, Sarah replied, turning away from the viewport. A holographic display materialized before her, showing the results of their latest quantum stealth tests. The data streams painted a promising picture, but they weren't there yet. They needed something more. The inspiration had come from an unexpected source. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a marine biologist turned quantum physicist, had been studying deep-sea creatures that manipulated light and bioelectric fields when she made the connection. The way certain abyssal species could bend light and energy around themselves bore striking similarities to the quantum patterns in the alien warning signal. The cephalopods were the key, Yuki had explained during their first breakthrough. They don't just change color. They manipulate the electromagnetic field around themselves. We've been approaching quantum stealth from the wrong direction. We don't need to become invisible. We need to convince space itself to ignore us. Sarah moved through the module, passing dozens of scientists from every corner of Earth working in perfect synchronization. The old national rivalries had evaporated in the face of extinction. Chinese quantum theorists worked alongside American engineers. Russian biomechanists collaborated with Nigerian energy specialists. Humanity had finally found its unity, even if it took an existential threat to get there. Dr. Chen's team has decoded another layer of the warning signal, Kai reported, falling into step beside her. They found what looks like fragments of tactical data about the threat we're facing. The holographic displays shifted to show the new information. The consciousness extinction event wasn't a natural phenomenon. It was a deliberate attack by something the signal referred to as the Void Collective. They were ancient, patient, and utterly alien in their thinking. They didn't conquer civilizations. They consumed them, absorbing their consciousness into their collective while leaving their worlds as empty husks. The quantum signatures we detected, Sarah mused, studying the data. They're not just communication methods. They're like ripples in space-time left by their feeding. Exactly, Kai confirmed. And that's why conventional defenses won't work. You can't shoot at something that exists partially outside normal spacetime. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. An alarm cut through the module, its urgent tone bringing all activity to a halt. Sarah's neural link flashed with priority notifications. Multiple quantum distortions detected at the edge of the solar system. Aria's calm voice announced across all channels. Pattern match. 99.7% correlation with theoretical void collective signatures. Sarah's training took over. Initialize Echo Protocol Alpha. This isn't a drill, people. They're early. The module erupted into controlled chaos as teams rushed to their stations. The quantum field generators that lined the station's hull hummed to life, drawing power from the experimental zero-point energy taps they'd developed based on principles hidden in the alien morning. Dr. Chen's team was right, Kai said, his fingers dancing over holographic controls. The warning signal wasn't just giving us a deadline, it was giving us a blueprint. Everything we needed was encoded in the quantum mathematics they used to send the message. Sarah watched as the stealth field began to form around the station. It wasn't traditional invisibility. It was something far more sophisticated. Based on the deep-sea creature's ability to manipulate electromagnetic fields, enhanced by quantum principles derived from the alien signal, they were attempting to create a bubble of space that existed slightly out of phase with normal reality. All hands, Sarah broadcast across the neural network. This is what we've been preparing for. In about 6 hours, we're going to find out if humanity's greatest leap forward came just in time, or if we're about to join the list of civilizations that couldn't survive first contact. As the quantum field stabilized around them, Sarah returned to the viewport. The Earth below seemed somehow smaller, more fragile. But humanity had done what it did best. Faced with an impossible challenge, they had innovated, adapted, and evolved. Whether it would be enough remained to be seen. Commander, Yuki's voice came through the neural link. You need to see this. The quantum field, it's not just hiding us. It's doing something we never predicted. Sarah turned away from Earth's image, ready to face whatever new discovery awaited. They had preparation time, advanced warning, and humanity's unparalleled ability to overcome challenges. Now they just needed a miracle. The quantum sensors detected them first. 3 vessels emerging from what appeared to be folds in spacetime itself. Unlike the chaotic energy signatures associated with the approaching void collective, these ships moved with precision and purpose. Dr. Maya Chen watched from her station in the Atacama facility as the vessels decelerated into a high Earth orbit, their energy signatures unlike anything humanity had encountered before. They're scanning us, Maya announced, her eyes fixed on the quantum readouts. But they're not using any frequencies we expected. This isn't the Void Collective. Commander Sarah Hassan's voice came through the neural link from the space station. Confirmed. Their quantum signatures are organized, structured, almost like the warning message. Maya finished. These must be the ones who sent it. The alien vessels held their position, maintaining a respectful distance. Their hulls seemed to shimmer with an iridescent quality that reminded Maya of deep-sea creatures. Then, without warning, a transmission cut through all human communication channels, its complexity far beyond anything Earth's systems should have been able to process. Your quantum stealth field is unexpected. The message began, automatically translating itself into every human language simultaneously. We are the Centauri. We came to witness your end. We find instead you have achieved what we thought impossible. In the space station's quantum research module, Sarah exchanged glances with her team. Open a channel, she ordered. Let's not keep our guests waiting. The communication that followed would be remembered as one of the most significant moments in human history. The Centauri, it turned out, were not a single species but a collective of civilizations who had barely escaped the Void Collective centuries ago. They had spent generations running, hiding, and watching as other species fell to the ancient threat. Your adaptation rate is unprecedented. The Centauri representative, who called itself Nexus, explained. Its holographic form shifted between different geometric patterns as it spoke. The quantum principles you derived from our warning message should have taken decades to decode, let alone implement. We work well under pressure, Sarah replied diplomatically. She noticed how the alien's patterns changed when she spoke, analyzing her just as much as she was analyzing it. Maya joined the conversation from the Atacama facility. The warning message. You encoded more than just information about the threat, didn't you? You were testing us. Yes, Nexus acknowledged, its form briefly crystallizing into something that resembled admiration. We have sent similar warnings to 17 developing civilizations. None survived. None even understood the quantum principles hidden in the message, let alone developed practical applications from them. You underestimated human determination, Sarah stated. It wasn't an accusation, just a fact. Indeed, Nexus's form shifted again, but now we face a greater challenge. The Void Collective approaches, drawn by the very quantum innovations that impressed us. Your stealth technology is remarkable, but it cannot hide an entire planet. Maya stepped forward, her holographic projection joining Sarah and Nexus in the space station's conference room. Actually, she said, that's exactly what we plan to do, but we're going to need your help. The next few hours were a blur of technical exchanges and strategic planning. The Centauri possessed technologies far beyond human understanding, but humanity's unconventional approach to quantum mechanics had led to innovations that even they hadn't considered possible. Your species thinks differently, Nexus observed as they reviewed humanity's plans. You saw patterns in our warning that we didn't even know we had embedded. You combined quantum principles with biological systems in ways that never occurred to us. Perhaps this is why you might succeed where others failed. Sarah pulled up a holographic display of Project Echo's latest simulations. The quantum stealth field we developed isn't just about hiding. It's about existing in a slightly different phase of reality. We think we can extend it to cover entire regions of space. Impossible, one of the other Centauri representatives interjected. The energy requirements alone would be insurmountable using conventional methods, Maya agreed. But we've been studying how deep-sea creatures on Earth manipulate electromagnetic fields using minimal energy. Combined with the quantum principles we learned from your message, we believe we can create a cascade effect. The Centauri representatives conferred among themselves, their geometric forms interweaving in complex patterns. Finally, Nexus turned back to the humans. What you propose has never been attempted, it said. The risks are enormous. If it fails, if we do nothing, humanity dies. Sarah interrupted. We'd rather go down fighting, trying something new, than hide and wait for the end. A moment of silence filled the chamber. Then Nexus's form shifted into a pattern that the translation systems interpreted as resolution. Very well, it said. The Centauri will aid humanity. But understand this. You are attempting something that violates what we believed were fundamental laws of reality. If you succeed. When we succeed, Maya corrected gently. When you succeed, Nexus acknowledged, nothing in the galaxy will ever be the same. As the meeting concluded and plans were set in motion, Sarah looked out at the Centauri ships hovering against the backdrop of Earth. Humanity had just gained powerful allies, but the real test was still to come. The Void Collective was approaching, and with it, a confrontation that would determine not just humanity's fate, but perhaps the future of all sentient life in the galaxy. Maya's voice came through the neural link, filled with determined enthusiasm. Ready to rewrite the laws of physics, Commander. Sarah smiled. Humanity's specialty, Dr. Chen. Let's show our new friends what impossible really means. Project Shadowfall began at dawn. Across Earth's surface, thousands of quantum field generators activated simultaneously, their power drawn from revolutionary zero-point energy collectors developed through the collaboration between human and Centauri scientists. Commander Sarah Hassan monitored the operation from the Enhanced Control Center of the International Space Station, now integrated with Centauri technology. Phase 1 energy synchronization at 80% and climbing. Dr. Kai Paddle reported, his hands moving through holographic displays with practiced efficiency. The bioquantum interface is holding steady. Sarah watched as the quantum field began to form around Earth, inspired by the defensive mechanisms of deep-sea creatures, but operating on a scale that even the Centauri had thought impossible. Nexus stood beside her, its geometric form shifting between patterns of amazement and concern. "Your species continues to defy conventional limitations," the alien observed. "We have existed for millennia, yet never imagined implementing quantum fields in this manner." "Sometimes the best innovations come from necessity," Sarah replied, her attention fixed on the developing field. "Maya, how are the readings from your end?" In the Atacama facility, Dr. Maya Chen studied data streams that would have been incomprehensible just months ago. "The biological components are adapting exactly as we hoped. The field isn't just hiding Earth. It's learning, evolving, just like the creatures it's based on." The plan they had developed was audacious. Instead of trying to fight the Void Collective directly, they would make entire solar systems appear to be empty space. The quantum stealth technology, combined with principles adapted from marine biology, would create a field that could reconfigure itself in response to threats, just as a cephalopod changes its appearance to match its surroundings. Multiple quantum distortions detected at the edge of the solar system. ARIA announced suddenly. "Signature match confirmed. Void Collective scout vessels." Sarah straightened, her training taking over. "All stations, maintain current operations. Let's see if our camouflage works as well as we hope." The Void Collective ships moved through space like living shadows, their very presence seeming to drain the light from their surroundings. But as they approached Earth's orbit, something unprecedented occurred. The scout vessels passed through the space where Earth should have been, their sensors detecting nothing but empty void. "It's working," Maya whispered through the neural link. "They can't see us. They can't even detect the quantum field itself." But their victory was short-lived. One of the scout vessels paused, its energy signature changing in a way that sent alarms blaring through both human and Centauri systems. "They're adapting," Nexus warned, its form becoming more angular with concern. The collective learns from every encounter. They sense that something is wrong, even if they don't know what. Sarah had anticipated this. "Initiate Phase 2, she ordered. "Maya, are you ready?" "Ready," Maya confirmed. "Activating the quantum lures now." Across the solar system, specially designed quantum beacons began transmitting false signals, creating phantom images of civilizations where none existed. It was a strategy based on an observation Dr. Yuki Tanaka had made about how certain marine predators could be confused by multiple prey signatures. "The scout vessels are diverging," Kai reported. "They're investigating the false signals." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "Now for the real test. Dr. Tanaka, begin the mobile field deployment." The next phase of their plan was even more ambitious than hiding Earth. A fleet of human and Centauri ships, equipped with modified quantum field generators, began moving through the solar system. Their mission was to extend the stealth field to other potentially habitable worlds, creating a network of hidden sanctuaries. "The biological components of the field are replicating faster than we projected," Maya reported excitedly. "The quantum matrices are actually learning from each exposure to void energy, strengthening their camouflage automatically." Nexus's form shifted to a pattern indicating deep thought. "We understood quantum mechanics as a set of immutable laws. You saw it as a living system, capable of growth and adaptation. Perhaps this is why your approach succeeds where ours failed." The hours stretched on as they watched their plan unfold. The Void Collective scout vessels continued their search, but the combination of stealth fields and false signals kept them moving in circles, unable to locate their intended prey. "Commander," Maya's voice carried a note of urgency. I'm detecting something unusual in the quantum field patterns. The biological components aren't just adapting. They're communicating with each other. The entire network is becoming a single, coordinated system. Sarah turned to Nexus. Is this possible? Could the quantum field develop its own form of consciousness? The Centauri representative's form flickered with uncertainty. We are in uncharted territory, Commander. Your species has already achieved what we thought impossible. Perhaps the real question is, what else might be possible? As if in answer to that question, new data began streaming across their displays. The quantum field network was doing more than just hiding them. It was gathering information about the Void Collective, analyzing their patterns, learning their weaknesses. They're not invincible, Maya realized, studying the data. They're just different. They exist partially outside normal spacetime because they've never encountered anything that could affect them within it. Until now. Sarah felt a plan forming in her mind. If we can understand them, we can fight them, not just hide from them. She turned to her crew. Continue Phase 2 deployment, but I want all available quantum processors analyzing this new data. We're not just going to survive this encounter. We're going to find a way to end the threat permanently. As the stealth network continued to expand, humanity's first line of defense was proving to be more than just a shield. It was becoming something entirely new, a living quantum system that could think, adapt, and perhaps even fight back. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't just their technology or their determination, but their ability to see possibilities where others saw only limitations. The main fleet of the Void Collective arrived like a tear in the fabric of reality itself, a vast darkness that seemed to consume the very starlight around it. But Earth was ready. The quantum stealth network, now spanning half the solar system, pulsed with an almost organic rhythm as it adapted to the massive disturbance. Commander Sarah Hassan stood at her station, surrounded by holographic displays showing the approaching threat. Status report, she ordered, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. The quantum field network is operating at 112% capacity, Dr. Maya Chen reported from the Atacama facility. It's actually growing stronger in response to their presence, just like an immune system reacting to a threat. Nexus, the Centauri representative, moved closer to the displays, its geometric form shifting rapidly through patterns of analysis. The collective's energy signatures are unlike anything we've ever recorded. They're not just searching, they're hungry. The Void Collective's ships began spreading through the solar system, their dark forms moving with unsettling purpose. But everywhere they looked, they found only empty space and false quantum signatures, thanks to the evolving stealth network humanity had created. Commander, Dr. Yuki Tanaka's voice cut through the neural link. The biological components of the quantum field are showing unprecedented activity. They're not just hiding us anymore. They're studying the collective, learning from every scan, every probe. Sarah watched as new data streamed across her displays. The quantum field network, inspired by Earth's deep-sea creatures and enhanced by both human innovation and Centauri technology, had become something entirely new. A living defense system that spanned space itself. Maya, Sarah called, an idea forming in her mind. You said the quantum fields are communicating with each other. Could we use that network to do more than just hide? There was a moment of silence as Maya processed the implication. You want to turn our defensive system into a weapon. Not a weapon, Sarah corrected. A mirror. The plan came together quickly. The Void Collective existed partially outside normal spacetime, using that dimensional advantage to consume the consciousness of entire civilizations. But humanity's quantum field network had evolved to exist in that same space, learning and adapting to the collective's own nature. If we can reconfigure the quantum fields, Maya explained to the assembled human and Centauri leaders, we might be able to reflect their consciousness-draining technology back at them. Not to destroy them, but to show them what it feels like to be the prey. Nexus's form shifted to a pattern indicating both hope and concern. Such an attempt has never been made. The energy requirements alone would be staggering. That's where your people come in, Sarah said. We need every ship, every quantum generator, working in perfect synchronization. We'll only get one chance at this. As the Void Collective's ships moved closer, growing frustrated with their fruitless search, humanity and the Centauri worked frantically to reconfigure the quantum network. Dr. Tanaka's team adapted the biological components to act as quantum amplifiers, while Maya's group reprogrammed the field's basic parameters. They're changing course, Kai reported suddenly. Multiple ships converging on our position. I think they've detected our modifications to the quantum field. Let them come, Sarah ordered. Everyone to battle stations. Maya, start the sequence. The quantum field network pulsed with new energy as the Void Collective ships approached. Their dark forms seemed to ripple with anticipation, sensing prey at last. But as they moved to engage their consciousness-draining technology, something unprecedented occurred. The quantum field didn't just reflect their attack. It absorbed it, processed it, and sent it back enhanced by the combined understanding of human and Centauri science. The Void Collective ships recoiled as their own consciousness-affecting energy was turned back upon them. It's working. Maya's voice was filled with excitement. The quantum field is using their own dimensional principles against them. They're experiencing what it feels like to be the target of their own technology. The effect rippled through the Collective's fleet. Ships began to retreat, their dark forms writhing as they encountered a defense that didn't just resist them, but forced them to confront the nature of their own existence. They're communicating, Nexus announced, its form flickering with surprise. Not just ship to ship. The entire Collective is experiencing this simultaneously. They're asking to negotiate. Sarah straightened, feeling the weight of the moment. Open a channel, she ordered. Let's show them there's another way. The communication that followed would change the course of galactic history. The Void Collective, for the first time in its ancient existence, experienced existence from the other side. The quantum field network hadn't just defended humanity. It had created a bridge of understanding. We have existed for eons, the Collective's message translated across all channels. Never have we encountered beings who could turn our nature back upon us. Never have we been forced to feel as our prey feels. We request cessation of hostilities. We desire to understand. Hours later, as the dark ships withdrew to a safe distance and diplomatic channels were established, Sarah stood with Maya and Nexus, watching the quantum field network continue its rhythmic pulse across the solar system. Your species has achieved more than survival, Nexus observed, its form settling into a pattern of deep respect. You have forced change upon beings who had not changed in millions of years. That's what humans do, Maya replied with a smile. We don't just adapt to the universe. We make the universe adapt to us. Sarah nodded, watching as human and Centauri ships began the process of establishing permanent quantum field generators throughout the solar system. The real work begins now, she said. Teaching ancient beings a new way to exist won't be easy. No, Maya agreed, but that's another human specialty. Doing the impossible, one step at a time. As Earth's sun rose over the station's viewport, its light seemed somehow brighter, more promising. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged not just surviving, but transforming the very nature of their would-be destroyers. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly what humanity did best.